Hey, let me ask you something. Do you know what a fitting is? McGolf's Fitting Friday. Let's learn what a fitting is really about. Stay tuned. So we've had a lot of fittings this weekend. In fact, I'm doing this in between fittings. I think we have 9 of them this weekend. If you guys watched the Tools of the Trade Tuesday, you'll know that we're behind because we had a death in the family. So I'm getting you in between the fittings. So it is very late, and I wanted to start the series again with what's a fitting. And to get this started, if you like what we're getting ready to talk about, how about liking the video? And if you would, subscribe, and that way you'll learn more about what we're doing going forward. Today we're going to talk about what is a fitting. What is truly a fitting? Now, in the most general sense of the term, a fitting is if you have a problem with a particular club and you go see somebody go get it fixed and it results maybe in a club adjustment, could be a fitting. All right, that's not what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about, and this might go a little bit long depending on how I go with this. I'm talking about what you should be expecting of a fitting and what a fitter should be giving you, okay? So let's start in the very beginning. In the beginning, years ago, you had a swing guy, and the swing guy would try and get you to fix a swing fault no matter what kind of club you had in your hand. Then you had the club guy, and the club guy would try and fit a club into your hand with no matter what your swing fault was. All right, and hopefully, we in the golf industry as a whole have grown such that you get both. The guy that's doing this fitting knows just enough about the swing to help you get through any major swing faults, and knows enough about the properties of a golf club that when you're getting these swing faults taken care of, you know what it can do. You can get you in a set of clubs, and then you're married up into a set of golf clubs that are either fitting you directly right now or will fit you after the commitment that you've made to that fitter that you're going to improve. That's a lot to take in. All right, yeah. You really need to know a lot about the golf swing and what causes what kinds of ball flights, and then you need to know enough about the properties of a golf club in order to know what works if those swing faults aren't addressed, or when they are addressed, what will work. What types of properties of golf clubs work with particular kinds of swings. Now when we get it, we will get into that, but that's a different topic. This is just the process, okay? This is just what a fitting is. So, and most people believe that when they get fit for their driver, they've been fit. Well, that couldn't be any further than the truth. You want to be fit for the largest properties of your bag. So, in a general thing, you have woods, all right, you have irons, and you have a putter. Those are the 3 big changes. So if you get fit for those 3 things, you pretty much can get through your whole bag. Now, there are other guys out there doing a really good job that are fitting in the lower part of the irons, i.e. wedges, middle, top, and then into the driver. Because sometimes the swing properties change in a golfer. Those are really, really good. They're far and few between, but those are really, really good. Then there are guys that will build one set and then extrapolate down and using different formulas. There are guys that will take from the driver and they will work their way down, and then in the putter. Now, this is not to say any person doing it their way is wrong or right, as long as they have a process, okay? So the process. So what is in a process? There's at least 3, maybe 4 steps in a fitting process. The first process is an interview. The interview could be a lot of things. It could be nothing more than sitting down to the table and having a casual conversation about your game. It could be filling out a piece of paperwork just like you're going to a doctor's office to get more information about you. It could be a combination of both. Just to kind of give you an example from in my fitting process, my interview is a couple of things. One, I do hand them that piece of paper and let them fill it out. Then while they're filling that out, I am actually speccing their golf clubs, kind of a mini blueprint, so I can see whether or not maybe their equipment is getting in their way or not. Then when all that's done and I go back and I read what they've said on their paper, then we talk about how the fitting process is going to work. That is the interview, all right? You got to explain what it is that you're going to do to help that person be better. And as the person filling it out, you got to be kind of truthful, all right? No, you don't hit it 290 all the time. No, you don't you're in the middle of the fairway all the time. When they say, what's your biggest miss? Say what your biggest miss is. This is here to help you, okay? And it's really kind of funny because, and it's not that people are golfers try to make themselves sound better. It's just the perception that they have. Guys, oh, I'm super aggressive in my swing. And I watch them. And a case in point, I just did a fitting yesterday with a gentleman from up in the Columbus area, believes to be very aggressive in his swing. People tell him, oh, you're really aggressive in your swing. No, he was just really fast. Had a really high swing speed, and so that looked aggressive. So he assumed he was aggressive. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, and then when we spec the clubs, that's a telltale sign of whether or not you have, if it's a swing issue or an equipment issue. That's a really quick, fast, and dirty for me. But that is a really quick version of the interview process. And any of you guys that are watching that have subscribed and actually been through this, how about letting them know down in the show notes if I'm telling them a fib or not? All right, just you can let me know. Second part is the testing phase. The testing phase. So when we talk about the testing phase, we're talking about going through the very process that we described in the interview process. All right. Again, we will talk about how the fitting is to be done. You want to have a comparison between, well, first you want to find some specs that fitter works with. Some people believe flex is more important. Some people length is more important. Whatever that fitter comes up with, that's purely up to them. But what we're looking for is going through the process that you described in the interview. And that way the golfer understands what's expected of him or her, and that you'll be describing or going through it, and then you get this comfort, all right, this comfort put together. And then the information, don't hide the information, let it be up here so that they can see it. So whether or not you're doing something like that, or you like giving something like this, and you get to watch things like that go, okay? So let them see what you're doing, and then explain, and then the fitter should be explaining why they're doing what they're doing, why they're giving you these clubs that they're giving you, so that you can understand. Because the fitting is an educational process, an educational experience. So that when you leave a fitting, you know why you're going in there, what you did, why you got the selection, and that you have this confidence that you're going to golf better. All right, golf better. That's the idea. All right, my job is to make sure that you stay in golf longer. And the better that you golf, the more likely it is you're going to stay in it. All right, whether that means hitting more greens, hitting a further drive, making more putts, whatever that might be. All right, so there is the testing process. Now, when you get done with the testing process, the third phase is the recommendations. All right, so the third one would be recommendations. So you've gone through this entire process. You've hit a bunch of golf balls with different reasons for the finding golf club specifications, then testing yours, figuring out if you can do better. Those are the things that you're doing. Then you come up with the recommendation. All right, for us, it's a sheet that we give everybody. So you know exactly, this should not be a surprise. All right, when a golfer gets this should not be a surprise. And and you as the golfer, if you're like, well, I don't understand why, then ask. And make the fitter describe why they picked that. And if you're not comfortable with it, tell them that, because if you're not comfortable, you're not going to make a good swing. And figure out what makes it different. Go back there. I've had people be in the perfect setup and not like it. Why? Because the color was wrong. So we had to go find a shaft with a better color. Some people didn't like a particular manufacturer, so we have to go onto the internet and dig into the specifications that would come really, really close to those recommendations that made them stay with a particular manufacturer. Particularly this guy right here. One heck of a golfer, but he was in a brand that we don't carry. But we got on the internet and I gave him 2 selections that would fit. He picks one, we put it on the recommendation, and then we check to make sure that that manufacturer could get the equipment, the other parts of the equipment, the shafts and the grips, that would fit into the clubs to have him do his better golf. So you got, as a fitter, we have to be kind of flexible that way. As a golfer, you got to communicate those particular things in order for you to have a really good fitting. So you have your interview process, you have your testing process where the rubber's meeting the road, and then you have your recommendation process where you get all the results. Now, for around here, for us, here's how, real quick and dirty. You come in and do the interview, you fill out a piece of paper, we spec your clubs, then we tell you what's going on, then we go hit and I wear you out. Then while we're doing the recommendations, I take a video of your swing so you can see it and understand why I'm selecting certain things because of how you load and unload, and I send you that. Then from my launch monitor, right, I give you from the best club that we tested, the one that we're really going to work with, I send you the information from that via my flight scope. All right, Flight Scope does a really good job of giving me a PDF that I can send to you, and then you can be included in what's called my Flight Scope if we are ever to come back, and then you get that record of copy. Then we go through and we do this recommendation. And I sit there and I type it out there right in front of you, so you know exactly. So again, it shouldn't be a surprise. And then you get that. So you're getting a spec sheet, a recommendation sheet, and I also print out how all the clubs tested. So there's nothing being held back. How all the clubs are being tested, how they compared one another, and how they landed. So that's another sheet. And then your recommendations. But that is basically your fitting process. If you're walking up and somebody just says, hey, I want to get fit for a club, and he says, well, how far do you hit it? Here's a golf club for you, let's go. Not necessarily the best, all right? Again, when we do our fittings, we are making friends. We're not making customers, we are making friends. In case in point, this guy right here has been back, this is his 3rd trip back. He was 13 and now he's just older than, well, I believe he's got to be well into 16 years old now. And he's a heck of a young man, and he keeps getting better. And he's hitting the ball really, really far now. So, and just getting better all the time. So we make friends, we don't make customers. And hopefully when you go to your places, that's what you're doing there. So if you have any comments on what you like seeing in a fitting, what do you like seeing in a fitting, what's the favorite part of a fitting, put it in the show notes, let me know. Because we're always looking to improve. We're always looking to improve. And you know, let us know if you've had a good experience or a bad experience. What made you feel good about a fitting? I'd like to know that too, because if it sounds like something that we can incorporate, I certainly will. And again, thank you for watching, and let's see your scores go low. About. I keep seeing this thing in here, and I want to make sure it's all clean. So, what's the video? What's a video? I don't know what a video is.